And this EcoBoost, ooh, it's quick. It'll get up and move. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing a 2022 Ford F-150 STX. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the Ed Kenley Ford here in Layton, Utah for giving me some time with this STX. Check out the inventory in the description down below. A really cool thing about Ed Kenley Ford is they do not charge over MSRP for any Ford product or specialty product from Tuscany, Shelby, all that fun stuff as well. So if you want to get an STX or something as crazy as this RMT F-150, yeah, they're not going to charge you over sticker. On a side note, if you want to save time, money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into the review. So under the hood of this STX, we have a twin-turbo 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 400 horsepower and then 500 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 17 around town and then 23 on the highway. Now let's go over the front end of the STX. So first off, we have Ford's new wavy hood here on the STX, and that's pretty much across the whole F-150 lineup. Now we do have halogen lights at the front end of the STX, and then you guys can see the fog lights just down below. Notice that in the sporty nature of the STX, the grille has been darkened. You still have chrome around the Ford logo, but again, this is kind of supposed to be like a sportier package. Tow hooks there at the bottom with the front end, and there you go. Now coming on the side here, we've got two 75mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear. And this is another cool part about the STX, is you have these really cool wheels from the factory. So notice how you have the silver here on the top, and then you've got that dark metallic gray below it. And yeah, just a really cool aesthetic. And if you wanted to amp things up a little bit, you can see these are the stock tires, but you could just add some all-terrain tires, and that would definitely give this truck a much more aggressive appearance. There's the front suspension. And then notice here with the fender, how that's kind of molded in. You have your STX logo here on the side. And then notice that the mirrors match the door handles. And then these are actually aftermarket side steps that have been added on. They're side steps, but then they also double as rock rails, which is pretty cool. And popping here to the full side view, there you go. Good looking truck, especially the wheels. The wheels definitely pop out quite a bit. And then popping here to the rear, got our good old leaf springs, and then you can see the shock there in the rear as well. So here's our key fob. We have our unlock, lock, and then you've got the key that pops out. Now, we have a massive payload capacity here with the STX actually, and you have to lower this down by yourself if you guys are wondering. 1,974 pounds, very impressive. We do have a power outlet here in the bed as well, which is another added bit of practicality. And I mean, it's a very large bed. It doesn't have Ford's cool like measuring tables though here on the tailgate. And lifting it up, it's light and easy to get into place. Finishing things up here with the rear, notice we have our STX 4x4 sticker there on the side, and then we have the base F-150 tail lights. And then notice here with the Ford logo, F-150 stamped here into the tailgate. Parking sensors on the rear, got the receiver hitch down below. With the EcoBoost, you're gonna be over 10,000 pounds with the towing capacity, so very, very capable. Now here is the rear door panel. You can see here with the material at the top and then the padding down below. This doesn't necessarily feel the nicest, but it looks pretty cool. And then the padding does feel very nice. Window control here with the cup holder, and you can see one of the speakers for the sound system. And then here are these seats. So you can see with kind of like the cloth rivets on the seats, definitely a cool aesthetic. Side steps actually help out, but still got to use the grab handle a little bit. Then here's legroom, then headroom, and then notice here with a little storage pocket. Cup holders still have charging ports down below, so it's still practical from that perspective. Let's head to the front. Now here is the front door panel. You can see again, same thing with the materials. And let me try to show you guys the texture here so you can kind of see how that looks. Got the padding down below. The mirrors actually have blind spot monitoring. Window controls, front two are automatic, and then we have our door lock and unlock, and then the mirror adjustments. And then here are the front seats again, same thing with these little cloth rivets. And then down there, and then the seats are manually adjustable. Pedal layout down below, got our parking brake right here, light controls as well, and then you can see here with the mirror lights, steering wheel is also manually adjustable. Notice the gray trim with the American flag. Let's pop in. Yep, you got to do this. So here is the steering wheel, pretty basic from a material standpoint, but it's not basic from an equipment standpoint. So you can see controls here for the center stack, and then we do have our lane keep assist and cruise control, turn signal, windshield wiper stock, and we have the best column shifter in the truck industry, hands down. Just like the actuation on it's perfect. It does have the manual shift function, that's what that M's for and all that, but it's just really easy to use. And yeah, other truck makers need to take a note from Ford with this. Now here is the center gauge cluster. You can see analog gauges on either side, and then you do have that screen there in the center, which you can see different bits of info on the truck. You know, pretty normal stuff. We do have drive modes here with the STX, and notice we have our normal, slippery, deep snow, sand, mud ruts. And then on the other side, you can see that we've got our tow haul mode, and then eco, and then sport that you can go between from a drive mode perspective. It doesn't have the cool animations you have on the full digital gauge cluster, but at least it has the little graphic. So here's the center infotainment system. Above it, there's the hazard light button, stability control, and then there's the button for the camera system. Now if I pop it into reverse, the camera will also, that's neutral. If I pop it in reverse, the camera will also pop up. You got that zoom function there. And then trajectory lines do turn with the steering wheel. Resolution solid, just a small screen. But the thing that's funny is this has similar functionality to Ford's bigger screens. It's just basically smaller in terms of the size. But like I said, functionality is the same. Response time's great, easy to use. And there you go. Also, who the heck is Paul? Anyways, down below we got analog radio controls. We've got our climate controls right here, single zone climate, trailer brake controls. We've got our drive line select. It has 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, and then 4-wheel low. Locker in the rear, and then your drive mode select. Got some storage space right here. And then since it has column shifter, frees up the space for storage. Couple cup holders. And then this actually has the workbench center console. It folds down. Ah! And you can see the storage space inside of that. And notice, just says F-150, but technically has a dual glove box, just no lid on that. And notice how, since it doesn't have the button here, it's just kind of like a little panel. Dash looks nice. Now popping up top here, we've got a sunglass holder, all black headliner. We have a regular mirror and fixed rear glass, if you guys are wondering. There you go. So here's our window sticker for this F-150 STX. Here is the standard equipment, freeze frame if you want to read through all of that. And this is built off of an XL if you guys are wondering, but here's the optional equipment on this particular one. But you guys can see base price there, $40,860 before options are added to this. And you can see after all options, $50,900. Notice with some of the options though, with like the STX cloth, $295. And so yeah, you know what? Anyways, let's see how it drives. Doo-doo-doo. Let's talk about visibility. There's your visibility of the hood, both the mirrors, but you can do a blind spot monitoring throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So starting off in the STX, and funny enough, I'm driving this right after I just drove a modified $90,000 F-150. So yeah, you know, it's like I went from like the top, not exactly down to the bottom, but you know, kind of. Anyways, let's talk about how this drives. So first off, thing that I'm noticing is this is very smooth from a ride quality perspective, and that's something that you get when you have street tires on a truck nowadays, especially with this new F-150 platform. It's just buttery smooth. Even in the more hardcore off-road applications like the Tremor and the Raptor, it still just gives you a really nice smooth ride quality on road, which I really appreciate. And then aside from the smoothness with the ride quality, the other thing to mention, steering really light, but there is a good amount of directness to it. And this EcoBoost, ooh, it's quick. It'll get up and move. It will get up and move. Again, I just drove a truck with basically a 6-inch lift, mud terrain tires, and a 5.0 V8, and going from that to this thing feels like a rocket ship. It's quick. So yeah, that's a benefit of the EcoBoost over the 5.0. You can still get the 5.0, but this has same amount of horsepower as the 5.0. It just has a lot more torque, and it's turbocharged. I'm at about 4,500 feet elevation, roughly. And so being at higher elevation, turbochargers are king. Highway ride quality, really smooth. So that's another big benefit. Wind noise, you hear a little bit, but it's pretty minimal. Tire noise, trying to really tune in on that. Super minimal, like you have to be paying attention to really notice the tire noise. Makes sense, this just has you know, street tires on it. But yeah, it's a very comfortable experience. I love the steering wheel on the new F-150s, even though this doesn't necessarily have nice materials on it. It still feels good in your hands, which is a nice benefit. Something I will mention with these cloth seats is they're actually very comfortable to sit in. The padding in them is really good. They're not necessarily like the softest, you know, the surface, but the padding in them is good enough that they are very cushy, very comfortable to sit in. And yeah, there's a lot to like about the STX, and so I guess we'll get into summing things up. And I feel like this video is going to upset quite a few people, so let's sum things up. First off, from an exterior aesthetics perspective, I think this is a great looking truck. Yay, we get a green arrow. I think it's a great looking truck. And then from an interior perspective, right, it's built off the XL. It's like a base interior. The thing with the STX is like you're getting a base truck. You don't want all the gadgets and frills and all that, but then you are getting a truck that looks cool. So that's kind of what this package is about, and it accomplishes that. It's got good looking wheels and a good looking exterior. And then from a driving perspective, it's smooth, it's comfortable. The EcoBoost gets this up and moves it. So let's talk about the price, $50,000. Yes, we live in a world now where a quote-unquote base model truck is $50,000. Again, the base price of an XL, $40,000, but this has some options. Here's the deal. The average price of a brand new car right now is $45,000, roughly $46,000 in that range, okay? So this is a little bit more expensive than the average price of a brand new car, but this is a truck. It's got 1,900 pounds of payload capacity. It's got this twin turbo V6 powertrain that for a truck gets good fuel economy. It gets up and it moves. It's got cool sporty looks. It's a truck. I'm gonna say that like 10 times. So yeah, I understand that, you know, it's sad that we live in a world now where, you know, base model trucks are $50,000. I'm sure there's gonna be people in the comment section below talking about how they got their, you know, first truck for $7,000, or they got their fully loaded truck for less than $50,000. And I understand that, but for everything this has in today's market, I think it's a great value. And if you don't want to spend $60,000, $70,000 on a Lariat, this is a great alternative if you basically just want a cool looking truck. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2022 Ford F-150 STX. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Ed Kenley Ford here in Layton for giving me some time with this truck. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see you guys.